everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Amy's Inspiration Station on the Altenew YouTube and Facebook channel. And I'm so excited that you can be here today. We have Angel behind the badge. And if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And Angel will be announcing that winner at the end of today's show. So stick around for the comments and she will place that winner within the comments. So hello, Angel. So please give Angel a little bit of love. She's behind the badge today. And we have Melly. How you doing, Melly? From Italy, and Vanessa, it is so nice to see you all, and Mary from New Jersey, and hi, Miss Tam, I'm so excited to see you, and hey, Shiomara, I hope everybody's having a fabulous Thursday, and I know Bridget was just over with the Party Posy interview with Leah Lawson, and so I would love to know if you've signed up for the Party Posy retreat, because that looks amazing. It looks really, really super fun. And so today I have a little treat for you guys because there is a big, huge sale on Craft-A-Flowers. It's 20% off. So I decided to grab a Craft-A-Flower, and I want to look at two ways to add some color and just really give you kind of two different looks. And so that's what I'm excited about sharing with you today. So I'm going to go ahead and get turned down onto my desk because, of course, as usual, I have way too many things to do, but I'm really excited to be here with you. Hey, Harry, I hope you're doing well. And again, if you share this live while we're live, you'll be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, and Angel is behind the badge, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So please share this while we're live. All right, here we go. And I'm going to point this down. So I would love to know in the chat, let me know if you are a Craft-A-Flower fan. Maybe you're a Craft-A-Flower subscriber. There is a new Craft-A-Flower that comes out every month. I love these because they so easily put like nice dimension onto your cards, and they just look amazing and realistic, and they're really, really awesome. And this is what I have today. So I am playing around with the Craft-A-Flower Sulfur Cosmos. And this one are these gorgeous cosmos. And cosmos, if you're a flower person, you'll notice they come in a whole bunch of different colors. And I do love the orange color that they give you on this. But I decided to kind of branch that out, and I'm going to share with you what those are. So Mary, thank you so much for sharing this to Facebook. You too can be like Mary and be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And Angel will be announcing our winner at the end of our show today. So like I said, today there is a 20% off sale for the Craft-A-Flowers. It ends tonight at 11:59 Eastern Time. And so I wanted to show you guys, if you're somebody who loves Craft-A-Flower, and I would love to know that. Are you somebody who loves Craft-A-Flower? Are you somebody who isn't really so super sure what to do with these? They might be a little kind of intimidating. How do I put them together? How do I make them look good? Let me know in the comments. What is your take on Craft-A-Flower? Maybe this is the first time you've seen or heard about Craft-A-Flower. But they are really fabulous sets. And like I said, I'm going to pick this one. Hey, Audrey, I hope you are doing well today. And we are talking Craft-A-Flower. So I have two really different looks, and these are both with the Sulfur Cosmos. And I'm going to show you how to get these different looks today. And Craft-A-Flower, if you're new to the series, is literally dies. So these are dies. And you can put them together in order to create these gorgeous three-dimensional flowers. And they just really look very, very realistic. But there's a lot of dies here. And sometimes you don't want to be taking those dies and kind of running them through one at a time. So I'm going to show you today how to kind of make this a little bit faster. So we're going to do this a little bit faster. So I'm going to show you that today. All right. I'm actually going to get started with this card. We're going to start a little bit here, then we're going to go here. So we're going to be kind of making both of these at the same time. But let me know in the comments if you happen to be a Craft-A-Flower fanatic. Let me know. Yes, Angela, aren't they beautiful? I feel like when I see them too, it reminds me of my garden because they are, they're so realistic. So I really love them. All right, so what I'm going to start with today, and I know it's super hard to tell, and this paper, I know you're like, Amy, you have two pieces of white paper. But do I? This paper is Moon Rock, and I'm going to hold it right up to my light, and this is a piece of white. And can you guys see just the subtle difference in that moon rock paper. So it's this really super light gray. This is a fabulous paper, and it is 80 pound and it's smooth, so you can blend. It blends like a dream on it. It's really, really beautiful. And I'm going to use this for this look, so I can get this really, really soft look in the crafted flower. And then on this one, I just have a piece of Nina Solar White cardstock, and I'm going to show you how to get another look with this one. This is where I'm going to be using this Nina. All right, so let's get started. So the first step I'm going to do is I am actually going to cut out all of these dies from my moon rock paper. And I will tell you that this does not fit all on this. This is a half a sheet of paper, and it doesn't fit all on here. So I have a little extra guide that I'm going to add on there too. So I'm going to clean up my desk a little bit. I know I'm showing you guys some exciting things, and this is all the stuff that we're going to be using today. And I apologize, I have a little sore throat today. So if I, some of you might have to yell water. Tell me to go grab some water while I am crafting along with you today. And are you crafting along with me? What are you doing? Are you kind of watching this on YouTube or on Facebook? Where are you today? And are you crafting along with me? All right, so I'm going to start out with my piece of moon rock. Oh my gosh, Audrey, aren't they the best? I love Craft-A-Flower. They're so stunning. Oh, Angela, thank you so much for sharing. And Cece, I'm so glad you're here. And you too can be like Angela and be entered to win, and like Audrey, and be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And where you can use that to purchase some Craft-A-Flower sets, which are 20% off today, which is why I'm focused on Craft-A-Flower. Because I'm like, you got to check this out. So this one I'm using is actually 20% off today. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking all of these and I'm just going to put them all down on my sheet. So I'm just pulling them off and throwing them right down. Every little thing. So I'm not ink blending this. I'm not doing this. This is the Moon Rock cardstock. This is the cardstock that has that little bit of gray on it. And I'm just going to put all of these down. These I'm just going to stay in here, and then we're going to work on our little second piece. And then we're going to come back to this. So we're going to kind of do both at the same time today. I think so. Yes, I'm going to be there for the 5 o'clock today. And I know Bridget's busy today. Bridget's super busy today. So, oh, Cece, are you catted? That's the best place to be. Once you are catted and your cat has jumped on you, you cannot get off. You know what I mean? You just can't. You can't do it. So you just cannot move. And that is the way it is. All right. So you can see that this fits most of them. And I got a couple more. And I apologize for the fact that I'm off screen, but I'm kind of zoomed in so you can see everything I'm doing. So I'm going to go right up here. And I got one more little tiny guy. All right. So I'm not using any satin tape. I'm not putting any tape on this. I'm just going to run this through. And it's just because I know these will not shift in flight. So these should all stay where I need them to be. So we're just going to go ahead and move this through. Once I get it started, then I'm just going to move this through. And this moon rock cuts like a dream. So it's just going to cut. Whoops. Ooh, got to put a little pressure in there. And now I got them all. All right, so I'm going to move this off. I'm going to need those dies in a second, but I'm just going to leave that in a second. And I'm going to pull this off. Oh no, I need to do it one more time. So this is my first pass. So I'm going to pull this off. And I need to do one more thing because I got to cut leaves. And the one thing I really liked about this set is that it comes with these like 3 gigantic leaves. And so I have a little smaller sheet. I have an A2 size sheet of moon rock, which I just moved somewhere. Here it is. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on my mat. And I'm just going to cut my 3 leaves out of that. And I'm only doing it on a separate sheet because of the fact that I need more space. That's all. All right. And I love these leaves. I love the fact that they're so big. And you're going to see them in just a minute when I throw this on. All right. Here we go. Running these through. So I'm just going to put these to the side, like I said. And I'm cutting these out of moon rock because I want to make this really soft look. All right. So those are right there. All right. So everything hanging out right there. I'm going to get back to it and we'll go and fix it. Oh no, Vanessa, I'm so sorry. I know everybody's starting to come down with stuff. It is the time of nasty colds. It is coming. So, all right, here we go. Okay, so now, that was my moon rock and I just die cut everything out. Now I have a piece of white paper. So where we're going to, let me just bring my original cards back in so you can take a look. This is where we are shooting for. And I'm going to grab my stamping mat. And I love this stamping mat because I can get dirty. It's silicone. I can use heat on this. And this is an old one. So the one they have now, which I want to get, but I haven't felt the need to splurge on it. But it's really, really super pretty. But as you can see, mine is very, very well loved with a lot on it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use this and I'm going to ink blend. And because I'm going to do this whole huge sheet of paper, I am going to use my Mama little guy here. So this is the large ink blending tool. And you're going to see, because you're like looking at me like, Amy, this is going to take you 35 minutes. No, this actually will go really, really fast. And I'm going to be using the Cherry Blossom ink set. And I love this ink set. It's so pretty. It has this gorgeous, gorgeous like pink purple. And this is what I wanted to use. Now I'm going to skip Pink Diamond, which is the lightest color. And instead I'm going to do a graduation of color, starting with Pinkalicious and then ending with Rubelite. And I might get a little crazy. I kind of wanted a little bit of darkness on this, but I noticed that it might need a little bit more. All right. So just a reminder, Angel is behind the badge today. And she is going to announce our winner. And so if you share this live while we are live, you will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew. And today, Craft-A-Flower is 20% off. And that's what we are talking about today is Craft-A-Flower. Does anybody have the Sulfur Cosmos? Do you have a favorite Craft-A-Flower? Is there one that you like more than another? Are you new to Craft-A-Flower? I saw a few of you in there who are loving Craft-A-Flower, but let me know. Yes, I know, Vanessa, this too shall pass. I have to think about that. I am a teacher, so today was a little hard talking to the kids. But I have my gigantic water jug next to me. So I'm pushing those fluids down. And I just want to point out on this stamping mat, notice that I'm not holding the paper. And I am just going right at it. And this is just putting on so much delicious color. And I'm just starting out with the Pinkalicious. So I want this to be light because I'm going to use and get to that graduation of color. So I want this to be a little bit lighter. Now you can notice I went almost halfway and now I'm going to put this away. And now I'm going to bring in the Rubelite. So Rubelite's my next color. And this, I'm going to start a little bit past. So I'm going to start right about here just so I can start to get that blend. So I'm not going to start here where the white is. I'm going to start a little bit over and I'm just going to come right down. And now I'm going to add that color in. And this large tool, I have them all. I don't know if you guys have a favorite tool, if you like the large, the small, or the mini blending brushes, or even the detail. But this one just comes in so super handy. And I only have 2 of these, but we'll see how it goes. Yes, Angela, Cherry Blossom is definitely one of my favorites. And I was thinking about these flowers, and I love doing pink flowers. And these, I know I should probably be doing like a fall card, but I don't know. I'm not ready for summer to leave, So I wanted like a really, really nice color. I wanted some bright, something really, really bright. And that also kind of shows the contrast between these. All right, you can start to see a little bit of that graduation of color. And so I have light. This is a little bit on the darker side, and I'm just adding and adding and blending and blending and blending into my heart's content. And you can see I really only have about a quarter left. And so I'm going to come back to the middle because I want there to be more of this Rubelite on here. And I'm just trying to blend that over with the Pinkalicious. And on Mina, these things, they just blend. They blend like butter. They're doing a great job. All right, so my last color here is Razzleberry. And on this one, I'm going to start off the end, and I'm just going to come right in. And this is going to meet up with the Rubelite. And this is up to you how far you want to go in. I'm going to go in probably to about here, just to make sure that I have that blend between these two colors. And this is such a good workout for you. I can already tell I'm breathing a little hard doing all of this blending. Oh, yes, and the one I have. Peggy, aren't you? Don't you love them? I hope you get some more. Again, there's that 20% off today. They don't always come on very often. And I don't know if anybody has the subscription, but there's a new one every single month, and you actually get a chance to take a look at it before you agree to it. So you can decide whether you're like, maybe I like that one, maybe I don't. So that's kind of the nice thing about the subscription is you can choose if you want to. You can sign up and then you can choose if you want to keep it or not, because you get it. You get a preview of it ahead of time. I apologize that my camera is not picking up the gorgeousness that is, but I will show. I'm going to pick this up in a second and just show it to you. So I'm going in with this razzleberry. Oh my gosh, I can't even handle it. How pretty it is. Now I have some ink on here. I don't want to waste this ink, so I'm going to drag that ink just a little bit on because I want that to be just a little bit darker. And I'm going to grab some Rubelite and just add a little bit more ink. This is one of those things that you get to that point where you just don't know when to stop. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of where I always get to. Hi, Brianna. How are you doing from New Zealand? Good morning. I hope you guys are doing great. Minis, oh my gosh, Audrey, aren't they the best? I love the mini blending brushes. They do, like, those are like the workhorses for me. But this one I do use when I have to do a large area like this. All right, so I'm going to take the ink that's left on here, and I'm just going to go over where I had the Pinkalicious, and I'm just trying to get that ink off of this. All right, there we go. All right, I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. It's just really, it's just delicious. You have this nice graduation from light to medium to this dark. And if I want to, I can come in with a little bit of like enchanted purple colors, and these would be really super pretty too. But I'm going to leave this as. Now, so that was the cherry blossom. I'm going to zhuzh this a little bit because why not? We're here together. We're in my craft room and we're hanging out, and I'm going to zhuzh this a little bit. So I have some ink sprays, and this is the Cosmic Berry ink spray. And I always like to add with Cosmic Berry, because this is kind of very warm, is I'm going to add a little antique gold. And I'm also going to add a little iridescent. And that's just going to give me even more texture on this. So I'm just going to shake these. And there's a little bead in here because these are metallic shimmer sprays. So I'm just waiting for that bead to kind of connect. All right, so I'm not going to spray because I want it a little bit more controlled. But I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to start dropping. And this Cosmic Berry, it's dark, but it's not black, but it's just really pretty. So all this is doing, just adding a little bit of texture to this background. Because remember, I'm going to die cut these, which also means that I have to let this dry, which is why I'm doing it right now. Okay, so I'm just adding just a little bit more. And now that we got that, I'm going to add a little bit of antique gold. And the antique gold gives that a little bit more warmth. Oh my gosh, metallic shimmer, Angela, I know. I had to I just bought a few. I'm not somebody who has that full set syndrome. Like I can handle I can just get a few of them. But I got to tell you, it was a little tough going around and choosing. And then I ended up buying a few more. But these are kind of like my tried and true ones. Just a little bit of gold. And then I'm going to add this iridescent. And the iridescent, it's going to be hard for the camera to pick up. So it's one that you can see when you have it nice and up close, but it's I don't know how to describe it. It's clear, but it's just shiny. And it just really produces this beautiful shine. It almost looks like little rainbow bubbles to me, but this little shine. So let me pick this up and show it to you so you can see it. And this is not wet. Like I didn't put a lot on there. This paper is totally fine, but you can see that little iridescent shine, and the gold is not totally being picked up, but this beautiful gold on there. And then you have this like dark from the cosmic berry. So it just looks great. And so we're going to die cut all of these little pieces. So I'm going to set this over to the side. All right, I'm going to clean up my mat because I don't want this red to go all over the place, but we'll see where we are. All right, and Nancy, I'm so glad that you are here today. And I'm glad you're never late. You are always on the time you need to be, right? So I have a little bit of the stamp cleaner, and this is just going to pick any of that ink up. And that's because I just don't want it to transfer to my next project. So I have my little shimmers, I got my little ink sprays, and I'm just going to pick this right up. And this silicone mat is great. Yes, it's stained, but it's silicone. Silicone's, it's going to be around for a long time. And I can heat on it because it's silicone. So it's not, crazy. And it cleans right up. So just a little bit of that stamp cleaner and just wiping it with my cloth. And it is totally cleaned up. That cosmic berry likes to stay around a little bit. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of moon rock. And this is just a little tiny piece of moon rock, and neither of those are them. Oh, no, I'm not using moon rock. I'm using white. Whoop. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm just going to have a piece of white cardstock. And this I am going to use for the leaves. So I'm going to blend on this. I'm going to use the leaves. I'm not going to use this brush because this is my red, pink, warm color brush. I'm going to use a second brush. And this is kind of like, I don't own a lot of these. So I just own a few for each of the color families. So this is kind of like my blue-green kind of one. Now, one colorway that I love, and I'm going to show this to you, and I hopefully will make you a convert, is Cherry Blossom plus Seashore. They look delicious together because you have this pink and you have this like bluish green teal. And if you look at the color wheel, they're just right there. They're right with each other. So they absolutely are fabulous. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to do the same thing. So the first lightest color here is Mountain Mist. I'm going to skip Mountain Mist, and I'm going to start off with Volcano Lake. But I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to create that graduation of color. All right, so here's my little guy. I'm going to start out with Volcano Lake. Just pick up that color, and I'm just going to get right on the paper. And obviously this one won't take as long because I'm going to go really quick. And again, this stamping mat, you notice that my paper is staying. I don't have to use another hand in order to keep that in place. And I'm just adding this on. So this is that Volcano Lake. And you can see already how these two work together. They're really pretty together. All right, the next one I'm going to add on is Lagoon. And I love this. Does anybody have like a favorite color combination at all? These two are my favorite. I love them together. All right, and Angel is behind the badge today. And just as a reminder, if you share this live while we're live, we had about 30 minutes to go, or 35 minutes to go. You will be entered to win a $15 gift card to Altenew, and Angel will be announcing that winner at the end of our program. So thank you, Angel. And let us know you're here by adding some information in the comments. So let us know that you're here. Do you like Craft-A-Flowers? Are you heading to one of the Altenew retreats? The next one that we have, I think, is Comfort Cozy or Warm and Cozy. And the Party Posy one that Bridget was just live on with Leah Lawson, that is coming up soon. All right, so all I'm doing here is I'm just taking my ink that's left on here and I'm just moving it down. I just want to get anything that's left on here, just kind of residuals. But I have this graduation. I don't like that. I want this to be a little bit darker, so I'm just going to grab that emerald and just add a little bit more ink to it. I'm also going to do some ink spraying on this, which means I'm going to move these things in just a second. But this is a cool color because we're in this blue-green grouping. So I'm not going to add the antique gold. So instead, I'm going to put in antique silver and the iridescent. And I also have Lagoon Spray. And Lagoon Spray is this really gorgeous dark teal. So I'm going to put those on. All right, so there is my Seashore. So here we are. All right, so there's Seashore. Put those over there. I'm going to move this off just in case By the way, this is already dry, really super quick. And so here is my iridescent. And I'll put this one on first just so you can see it. This is probably my favorite ink spray of all ink sprays. And I know you're like, what are you doing? Because I can't see it. I do have to say, crafty friends, I wish you were in the studio with me today. And we could craft together. All right, so that one is done. Let me show you. So you can kind of see it starts to really, it's very subtle, but it just puts this beautiful shine on it and just gives it a little bit of texture to all that blending. This is the Lagoon. And the Lagoon is great. It's gorgeous dark green. Oh, gosh. Love it. Again, I'm just giving it a little bit of texture because when I die cut these, I want there to be some texture on it. And then finally, I'm going to finish off with antique silver. This is probably another favorite of mine. Absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, so now that's just the blending panel, everybody. Wait until you see when we die cut it and put it together. It's beautiful. All right, so this is obviously a little wet, so I'm going to just let that hang out. I'm going to pull this stamping mat and clean it off. Or actually, I don't think I'm going to use this again, so I'm going to clean this off later so we don't have to watch me clean that. And I'm going to take this, so just double checking. Yep, we're dry. Everything's dry. Panel is dry. I'm going to move these over. And I am going to grab my die cutting machine. And we're going to die cut these two panels. So while I'm die cutting the first one, this green one is going to dry. Oh my gosh, Peggy, are you excited? I am too. I'm going to be there too. I'm looking forward to all of it. I saw the unboxing last night. So excited. And all right, so now I'm going to grab my dies that are over here on the side hiding. And I'm going to do the same thing, but here is my pink panel. So now I have to think about this because I want these to be a specific color, and I want them to, because I want them to have some light and some dark, and I want there to be some variation. So I have to kind of think about this. So I'm going to bring in my directions, and we'll look on the back. And this has two different flowers, and the way that you can tell them together, which one is which. So we have flower 1 and flower 2, and there is a little tiny, this one has a keyhole and this one has an arrow, and that actually corresponds to the die itself. So there's our keyhole, and that is flower number 1. That's the arrow flower. So there we go. So that's a little bit, so that's how we can tell the difference. And I'm also looking for this. Where are my outside layers and where are my inside layers? Because I want this to go from light to dark, because I kind of think about those outside petals one way, and then I think about those light petals as the inside petals as being a little bit darker. So I'm going to go from light to dark. All right, so that means that my larger petals, I'm going to start to put on this end, which is the light colored end, and I'm going to put the smaller petals on this side where it's a little bit darker. All right, and I don't know if other people kind of think about this way, but that's how I do it. So I'm looking at my guide and I'm saying, okay, what are my first ones? And if you're like, I can't tell, there's actually a little number on them. And that will also tell you where there's 1 and where there's 2. And I'm doing my best to kind of put them down so I can get some graduation of color. I'm going to have a little bit of dark and a little bit of light and get all these down. All right, and I got some little tiny guys here. Let me put this guy in here. And it will all come in and it will all make beautiful sense once we get in there. But I really like those areas that have that graduation that go from one color to the other. Those are like my favorite spots in blending. All right, so now I'm just filling up the rest of these. And this way I'm getting all of this die cutting done at one time. So I don't have to do like every single little one. I'm just getting it all done at once. All right, this is my last one. I'm just going to place this guy right here. Okay, so now my cover plate, and I'm just going to run it on. Oh my gosh, Peggy. Oh my gosh. Were you at the unboxing last night, Peggy? For the retreat? Bridget did a fabulous job. She's going to show a whole bunch of stuff too. So I'm excited about that. All right, I'm backing this up because I realized that this part is not on my base plate. So I have to move everything and shift it really carefully. And now I move that guy. So we're going to move this. All right, holding my breath. Now we're going back in. All right, hopefully this works. This one does not want to behave. There we go. All right, now we're in. Nice. All right, so that's everything. One fell swoop. It's all done, all set up. And I'm just going to take these off, and I'm just going to throw them right on my desk, and we'll get to that later. I just want to point out how pretty all of these leaves came out, or all these petals. All right, now I have to do my leaves. Same thing again. I want some graduation. So I have this big honker leaf. I'm going to put him, actually I'm going to put him here. And then this one I want to go from dark to light. And then this one I'm just going to have dark. Okay, and then I'm just going to throw these in. And I'm going to go ahead and do these three. And that's it. Then all we got to do is just put it through. All right, and that's it. Die cutting is done. No more die cutting. All right, so the next step is assembly. So let's take a look at this. And obviously I'm going to need some directions. And I have to say, one of the things that I've found really easy, or to help out with assembly, is the stamp wheel mat. And this is the low tack. So this is the, grab the thing. This is the stamp wheel sticky mat grid. So this is not the ultra sticky. This is the good sticky. And this way, because I'm doing these smaller die cuts, I want this. But this is going to help me to kind of keep everything where I go. Oh, I definitely, sometimes I do, Audrey. You know what I do also, Audrey, is when I create more leaves, sometimes I'll have extra leaves. And even if they don't necessarily go with that set that I'm working on, that way I have some extra leaves. So I definitely do that as I do this. All right, so I'm going to grab all my little bits, and all I'm going to do is organize them. So I have my keyhole flower, and these are my little dies. I'm just going to move these over to the side. Some of them came off. So this is an arrow flower. So I'm going to put that down at the bottom, and I'm just going to see what the heck I have. So I don't even know how this came out. It's a little bit of a chance. Hopefully everything worked. And I will take these dies and I make sure I put them right away back in my package, because I hate losing dies. You know what I mean? Hate it. Okay. This one is, this guy. And all I'm doing is just kind of looking, making sure I have everything and just putting it right on my mat. And this is how I start, is I just kind of it's like a big puzzle. So I'm just kind of organizing it this way. All right, so there's a keyhole one. And now what I'm going to do is just pop these out. So this is an arrow. This is the little tiny guy. I'm going to talk about him. This is a keyhole guy. This is an arrow guy. Keyhole's at the top. I know you guys just yelled at me. That's an arrow guy. All right. And Serena, thank you for sharing this to Facebook. You too can be like Serena and be entered to win a gift card to Altenew. Let us know. Please share this while we're live and let us know where you shared it. And we really appreciate that. If you end up creating anything from the inspiration from today's live, I'd love to see it. So you can tag me, you can tag Altenew on social media and let us know what you did. All right, so I have this. That's all my pieces. If you have, you want to use anything, you can keep it, but I'm going to throw everything to the side and hopefully everything came out. So I'm just double checking that I have all my pieces out. And I think everything came out well. Just triple checking. Yep. Okay, we're good. All right, so these are right over to the side. And this guy is right outside. Okay, so now I'm going to start put these together. So I have my directions right next to me, and I'm going to go ahead and start down here, and I'm going to start with the arrow. I'm going to start with the arrow flower, and I'm just going to put this together. Now, I don't like glue all of the pieces down. I really only glue around the center, and that's because it gives me an opportunity to kind of push things up and give it a little bit more dimension. So I just wanted to mention that as I go along. All right, so I'm just finding number 1. So here is number 1. So this is my first part, and you can see how nice that mat holds this. This is flat. Oh, great. Oh, that's great, Nancy, that you won. Are you, that's exciting. I don't think I've ever won anything. Oh, a couple of things, but definitely not an Altenew gift card. I don't know what I would get. There's too many options, I have to say. All right, so there's our 2 layers. And now I'm going to come in with layer 3. And all I'm doing is just taking these little arrows. So you can see that little arrow. And I'm just lining it up with the arrow right below it. And that's all I'm doing. And that's going to help me to put this. And I'm just putting my glue. I just turned my little piece over. And I'm just putting some glue right around the arrow. I'm not going all the way down the leaf because it's going to give me an ability to turn that leaf up. All right, so I'm going to come right here and put that down. And you can see now we can start to have a little bit of that graduation. So it's a little bit done. Oh my gosh, Angel, isn't it fabulous, the keyhole? It makes it so much easier. I love it. All right, so this one is 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm up here this way. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we got this guy next. All right, so this one's a little tricky. So I'm going to show you that there's this little piece here that doesn't have the keyhole, and it goes on top of this part of this thing. And all it's doing is just kind of covering up this little section. But it's an ability to give you a little extra dimension. So I'm going to grab a little bit of foam tape, and I have these scissors I have been loving. And I'm just going to grab a little bit of foam tape, just a tiny little bit. And I apologize, I'm cutting that off screen, but I promise I'm cutting some foam tape. And there's this little tiny piece here, and that goes right on top of this, but I want to pop that up. So I'm just going to add a little bit of foam tape. And I'm just going to put that right on top of here. And that's going to give it just a little bit of shadow. And I know it's like super subtle, but it just gives it a little bit of shadow. Thank you so much, Vanessa. I love these crafted flowers. Like I said, it's just, oh my gosh, it's so amazing that you can get this. I really love it that you can get this look from this. All right, so this is my last little bit, and this just goes right around the center. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this right down, and that just covers the center. All right, and now we have the middle. And then what the middle does is that middle is going to cover the keyhole. So I'm going to find the right middle, and I think this middle is this one. All right, now I want my middle to be dark, so I'm actually going to grab dark chocolate, and dark chocolate comes from the 4 Scoops collection. And I know you're like, Amy, that's got cherry blossom on it. Yes, it does. And now I'm going to put some chocolate over it. So now it's got cherry blossom plus chocolate. And I like that because even though I know this is brown, but because I'm putting it on there on top of the cherry blossom, it kind of gives that extra little shine. So it's like cherry blossom plus chocolate. And in addition, I'm going to take this and I'm going to add just a little bit of foam tape. And this is going to pop that up on the center. So just a tiny bit of foam tape here. And in fact, that was a large piece. And I'm going to cut that down just a bit. And this is just going to give a little bit of extra dimension to this center. All right. And again, this makes this so easy. So easy to do. All right. I'm going to save that because I'm going to need that guy in a second. All right. So now this finishes. And I just want to point out how quickly, like a lot of times I take a lot of time to do things. This really comes together very, very quickly. So there's our first little flower. And you can see all the different layers. You can see the You can see the ink spray. You can see the different color we have. And then that dark chocolate middle is great too. Yes, chocolate covered cherry blossoms. That's a good one. I like that. All right, so now we're going to move over to my keyhole flower. And so I'm going to start off with a piece that I cannot find. Huh. I know I cut it out, right? Yep, I did. Huh. All right. Well, if you guys watch the replay and know where the heck I put the base, but that's all right. We'll figure it through. Oh, no, that's because I'm on the wrong one. Beep. All right, so we're going to start here. This is number 1. Sorry about that. I got messed up. All right, so I'm going to put this right down. So this is my first layer. And my next one is this guy. So this is 2. And I know it's going to be the right way up because I'm looking at that keyhole. And that also tells me about orientation. So I'm not sitting here fiddling and kind of figuring things out on that as well. So I'm going to put that right down and put those together. And again, I love this mat because everything will just stick and it's just going to stay until I need it to move. All right, so now I'm going to do this one and just put this together. And that goes right on top. And you can just see, I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see. This is really what I was going for, where you have these 3 different graduations of colors. Thank you guys so much. It's such, oh, I love it. I love these. So fun, so easy to come together. They're really fabulous. All right, so this is petal 4. And I love the cherry blossom because it's just so bright. And that is petal 4. And now we're going to move to petal 5. So petal 5 has another little thing where we got to put a little extra guy on there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. And then I'm going to put the little extra piece on, but I'm going to add a little piece of foam tape because I just want a little bit of extra texture. And that is this little guy that does not have a keyhole. He belongs here. All right, and I'm going to put him right there. So now I got an extra piece. I know you're like, those are very tiny little pieces, but I do need them. We're going to use them in a sec. Okay, so this is going to go right here. And I'm just going to push this a little off edge just to give it a little something, something on there. And in fact, I'm going to take a little bit of my dark chocolate and I'm just going to give that little popped up piece just a little extra shadow, just to kind of differentiate it from the rest of the area. All right, then I'm going to come in with, did belong on there. Ah, you did belong on there. That's all right. All right, now I'm going to come in with my middle. And then my final is my cover up. Now, again, I want my cover up to be brown because I want it to stand out. So I'm going to add, so this is my dark chocolate. What are we calling it? Dark chocolate covered cherry blossom. And I'm going to use those extra 2 little pieces of foam tape that I have saved. And I'm going to put it right over here. All right. And how are we doing on time? We're doing pretty good. I might not be able to get the second card, but I'm going to show you how I did it. But I put it away. I put it together the exact same way I'm doing this one. But I wanted to show this one, at least the assembly of one of these first. But I'll show you how I got the colors on the second one. All right. No. All right. So this is my 2 flowers. So this is going to go right here. And there's these notches that line up. And there are my 2 flowers. So let me just go ahead and show those to you. Gorgeous, right? Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I lost a little guy. So I'm just going to do a little card surgery here. And since these are all kind of on top of each other, it's not a super big deal. But I just can't have like an extra piece missing because that will bother me forever. So I have to throw this on. So a little card surgery. I'll put it back together. Don't worry. And put this guy back on. Okay. And there we go. All right. So there's my 2 little petals. And I can take some edges and just kind of lift these up and just give it a little extra kind of dimension and curl them just a little bit. And that's going to also help too. So they're not like totally flat on the card. You can give them a little bit of curl. Okay, so those are my two guys. I have some leaves, but I don't really need to do anything to the leaves because I'm not assembling things. So I just got to pop these out. That's all I'm doing to these leaves. That's it. So I'm just popping them out. And I just wanted to show the variation that you get. So you can see we got light, dark to light. We got a little dark to light. And then this guy is kind of all over dark. And you can see how pretty the seashore and the cherry blossoms go together. Really, really nice. All right, so I'm going to use this mat for my assembly of my cards. So let me put this all together now for you. All right, so I have to say one of the things that I've been obsessed with lately, and I emailed Angel about this, and I hope, I don't know, Angel, I don't know if you can get obsessed about washi tape too, but I definitely am obsessed about washi tape. And it is this one right now. And I have to get the exact name because so you guys can go and get it and put it on your wish list because it is absolutely, like, I don't know, I'm just obsessed. This is dotted wide. This is dotted wide washi. Now, the other thing that I've been obsessed with lately is like tearing. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm going through a phase right now. But I had a card recently that came out and I did like some tearing of vellum. And I was like, oh, this is gorgeous. I love it. And I'm just going to add, just to kind of keep going on with these dots and things like that, I'm going to do just a little bit of frayed leaf ink splatter. I'm just going to throw that right on here. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab just a tiny bit of the iridescent. Where are you, iridescent? And this is just to kind of keep my theme going. And these dry because I'm not throwing a ton on here. I'm literally just kind of sprinkling just a tiny bit, except for that big huge dot. I'm putting just a little bit on there. So this will dry quickly. Okay. So just to show you where we're kind of heading to. Oh my gosh, Angela, aren't the wide washies fabulous? And you don't have to use all of it. Like this thing is the size of a card. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do about half. So I'm going to rip off half of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear the edges just so it's not like a perfect straight line. And those are like the two things that I've been obsessed with lately. So I have this little kind of edge to it. And this has been, is that enough? That is not enough. All right, looks like I caught up to itself. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. Being a little mean to my washi right now. All right, here we go. Just trying to get an edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off this section because I think I have enough. And this other little part's a little crazy. Okay, so that's my washi. Now what I'm going to do is just kind of cut this little section off because I don't want this extra. So I'm going to let that go. Goodbye, washi. And then I'm going to take these edges. This section's already torn because I ripped it off, but this section isn't. So you see how it's that perfect edge? I am going to, right, Audrey? I love it. Oh my gosh, I know, Vicky. That's what I do when I prep for these. I'm like, I look around and I'm like, what haven't I used in a while? I even have a bin of like things I haven't used. And sometimes I'll like, if I'm looking for something on another project, I'll look for, and I'll just throw that in the bin and know that that's like the thing I'm going to use next. So I'm just ripping off like a little section. And so now I have these edges and it's not perfect. It looks great. So I'm just going to put this down here on the bottom. And this is just giving those flowers just a little landing pad, just a little place to land. So they're not kind of like floating all over the place. And I grabbed this sentiment, and this was hard for me because I know this Craft-A-Flower doesn't come with the sentiment. So I looked around and this is so flowy and like flowery and stuff. And I was looking for a sentiment font that was like pretty opposite of that. And I found it in the Hello Friend sentiment stamp set. And I love this font because it's just like up and down. It's straight up and down. It is not flowy. It is clear. And it just is really fabulous, nice sentiment. And so I'm just going to grab the sub-sentiment. Thanks for all you do. And I'm going to place this onto a block. And I'm just going to stamp this on the bottom of my card. And I was looking to put it in a place where it wasn't really going to, because this is a lot going on, and I just wanted it to be in a place that it was going to be where it needed to be, stand up by itself, and not get kind of caught up in the drama of the flowers. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put this right down. And I've already cut my card panel down to 4 by 5 1/4. So this panel is already 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so I'm putting that down, and that's an obsidian ink. Oh my God, right, Angela? I love it. I love the fact that it comes in all these languages. It's just really, really super nice. And of course, my things didn't come out. Try this again. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's now down, and now I'm going to put these on. So I start first with my leaves, and I kind of start to dry fit everything. And this is a really, really big leaf, so this needs the biggest amount of space. And I'm kind of thinking about this like an L. This is a smaller leaf, and this is kind of the medium leaf. Or these are, yeah, it's about the same size. So I'm going to try that. I'm going to move my little medium leaf over here, and I'm putting my smaller leaf on this side. And that just gives me like little lily pad. And then I'm going to start to just dry fit my flowers. And I'm just going to put them on, and you can see how pretty they look. So I'm putting that bigger flower down first, and then having that other one come up. And I love these too, because again, you have this great color, you have the dots that come up here, you have the dots from here, and everything is fabulous. So I'm just going to go ahead and just glue these down. And then we are going to start. I'm going to have a little bit of time to go on the other one. So I'd love to know, let me know, are you a fan of like bold and bright crafty flowers? Because I have this other one that is very subtle. So these two looks are very different from each other, even though we have the same set. Don't they, Angela? I think so too, that they just make it pop. And again, it's just a little bit of something extra that's on there. All right, so I'm going to glue these down. And I am just going to take some glue. I am putting this on paper. I'm putting it on washi. So I have to kind of give it a little extra time in order for this glue to really adhere and to set. So I'm just going to go ahead and place these down where I had them. So this was my big leaf, and it was right up here. And I can go a little bit off the page. And then I'm just going to grab a block and just get that down. So I'm just kind of making sure that that's down, and it's going to stay down. That's what I want. So I want this sucker to stay down. All right, now I'm going to come in with my medium leaf, and I'm just going to come right above that sentiment. And that way it's staying down while I kind of do the next little bit here. Oh no, my glue. I do like to use glue for this, because then I can move things around and it makes my life a little bit easier versus using adhesive sheets or anything like that. So I do end up using glue. But sometimes your glue gets stuck. All right, there we go. So here's my next little leaf. And I just want this to go right on that sentiment. And we're just going to lift that up. That's already down. And I'm just going to put that right there. All right, and then I'm going to do my third guy. So I know I'm gluing this off stage, and you guys are like, oh, that's exciting. There's magic gluing happening. I promise I'm gluing. Okay. And the glue is getting stuck again. All right, come on up. Here we go. Yeah, try it, CC, with the seashore. The colors are really pretty. It's kind of one of my little go-tos that I've discovered that I like to use. I like to do those two. They're really pretty. All right, I'm just going to put this right here, and that's going to finish off our leaves. So I'm just going to put that there. All right, now I'm going to put these guys on. I don't want to glue these flat. I do want them to be up a little bit. So in's going to come my Instant Dimension foam tape, and I'm just going to put a little foam tape. I'm not putting all the foam tape on here. I'm not putting a ton. I'm really just going to cover up the middle of this, because like I said, I want those petals to kind of be a little flowy and to pop up just a tad bit. Okay, so now I'm going to put my big one down first because I know I wanted that one to be closer to the sentiment. And then I'll put my smaller one and I'll tuck the smaller one in right under it. All right, so here's my big guy. Oh, I like that. There we go. And then here's my little smaller guy. And I'm just going to pop that right up and get that right there. Okay, so now we have this gorgeous card. And so this would look so pretty on black. You know, I think that would really make it pop and kind of put it right out. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. So that was how easy the Craft-A-Flower comes together. And so we kind of talked about, you know, using all those dots, building those layers, building that texture. So let me show you my other card. And I'll get to a little bit of it today, but and I'll put these in the Altenew fan group. I'll make sure to post these. And what I did on this one is, if you can see the back, I used, to create that background, I used a debossing cover die. Oops, that was loud, I apologize. And this is the Dotted Swirls debossing cover die. And this just really gives it that really pretty, I wanted this to be very subtle texture on this one. And now let's talk about how I did the inking of this. So I've already showed you that I took these guys and I used moon rock paper. So this is not white paper, this is moon rock. So here is my sticky mat. And all I did was I came in with a mini blending brush. So I'm going to grab my mini blending brush and I'm going to grab my seashore inks. So here's some Volcano Lake and there's some Lagoon. And all I'm doing here is I'm kind of starting in the center and I'm literally just going out. I don't want to get those tips. I want to keep the moon rock color. I'm doing this very, very subtly. So that's the Lagoon. I usually start with Volcano Lake. I grabbed the wrong one, but that's okay. And I'm going to come in with Volcano Lake. So let me show you how I would do it on the next one. And you can keep them in the paper or you can put them on your mat. It really doesn't matter. What I'll do is I'll do a lot with Volcano Lake, and then I'm going to come in with Lagoon. You can come in with Emerald, and I'm not going to go as far. So I'm just going to keep the color, the dark color, concentrated to the middle. So let me show you what that looks like here. So now when I pop this out, you have this die cut with that gorgeous color on it. So it's so soft, right? It's just so soft. And it's really pretty. So let me show you with these. And you can use, you know, look at your ink sets, kind of look around at your ink sets and see what you have. So I'm just going to pop, these are the keyhole ones. So I'm just going to pop all the keyhole ones out and I'll show you what I do with these. Now I used, for this card, I used Martian Terrain inks, and I love that color. I love Martian Terrain inks. I think they're beautiful. They also look really, really nice with the seashore. But I'm going to do this very similar, so kind of the same way. So I'm going to start with the Canyon Clay. And you can even start with Pastel Sunrise, but I'm going to start with the Canyon Clay. Now I took these out, and you can see how they're staying right where they need to be because I'm using this mat. And I'm doing the same thing. So this is my Canyon Clay, which is the second color in the set. And I'm going probably about halfway down these petals. But I want to make sure I leave some of that moon rock visible. So I want to get it nice and dark in the center. And I'm coming out with that moon rock. And so you can see how pretty this really starts to look. And it's just so soft because this is such a great color. And then I'm going to come in with my burnt red. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to keep this concentrated. And I'll flow up just a little bit, but I really want to keep that moon rock available. And on some of these, I'm going to add more burnt red. And some of them, I'm going to keep them a little bit lighter. And that's going to give me the variation between the petals. So this one, it's one that's like more up front. It's not a backward. So I'm going to add a little bit more. This is one's in the back. So I'll keep that one a little bit lighter. And then if you really want to go kind of nuts with it, we can add a little mahogany bark. And I'm just going to do a tiny little bit of mahogany bark. So I'm not going very far up with the mahogany bark. But I just want to show you guys So this I want to go very far up on the mahogany bark. And just a little bit. But you can see this color graduation that you get. And it's so soft. Yes, that would be so awesome, Audrey. I can't wait to see it if you end up using this on the anemones, on the crafted flower anemones. But you can see this soft look that you get. And it comes together very, very easily and just really, really easy to do. So these are our cards for today. I hope this inspired you to grab those crafted flowers and try some different ink blending techniques. So we used the whole panel and ink blended the whole panel and added some sprays. And this one I used Moon Rock, which is such a pretty paper, and just ink blended a little bit of the sections just to kind of keep that nice soft look. So those petals stay really, really soft. And I like the Moon Rock for this because the white sometimes is just too white, you know, but by using the Moon Rock, it's a little gray. So it looks a little bit pretty. All right, I just wanted to say thank you so much and a huge shout out to Angel, who is behind the badge today. And I wanted to say thank you so much for spending some time with us here at Altenew. And we would love to see what you do. So please hashtag us. Let us know. We want to see your work because we really get inspired by you and what you happen to create. So thank you so much for spending some time. And thank you for letting Altenew craft your life. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much, Angel. All right. Bye, everybody.